it's the greatest day of the year. We get free Krispy Kreme. And I'm sitting to myself thinking, do these people have no concept of what they're doing, what they're talking about? Guys, welcome. Built by Vitality Podcast. We are out of the office today.
Yes, we are.
I'm with Philip Lewis. My name is Steve Pinkerton. I hope you're going to enjoy this one. We are going to talk about Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme, for those of you who are not aware, they announced Monday for us, you'll see this will be a week ago when this podcast drops, but they announced that they will give one free donut every day for the remainder of the year if you show your vaccination card on site. Now, before we get into this and the absolute lunacy of this, I don't care whether you get vaccinated or not. This has nothing to do with vaccination, okay? Now, what the people that are going to argue with me on this will say, oh, it's an incentive to get vaccinated. Okay, I get it. But what a ludicrous incentive to give someone to get them vaccinated. Because let me tell you something. Do you know what else was announced about a week ago? That the number one comorbidity, the number one factor in how severe COVID was going to be connected to you was obesity. Number one. Not number 5, not number 6. The number one reason that you are in the hospital is obesity. So then you get an irresponsible company like Krispy Kreme that says, we are going to capitalize on this pandemic. We are going to use the vaccine as a scapegoat to try and grow our revenue numbers, and we're gonna offer free donuts, which we know. Hey, you ever been on a pretty solid nutrition plan where it included one donut every day?
No, it didn't include any donuts.
Okay. Now, do I have anything against donuts? No. Will I ever? The funny part was I got really worked up about this last night at home, and my mother-in-law, I said, Krispy Kreme's not getting one penny from me ever again. And Barb looked at me and she said, I'm not sure that they're going to be too upset about that because I don't think you provide a lot of revenue to them.
That's right.
But I will take Charlie and Reagan, a couple times a year. We'll go to Krispy Kreme. But I'll tell you this, we'll go over to another local place. I will never, I cannot believe that more people aren't upset about this whole thing. It's so crazy to me because here's what and look, is it smart from Krispy Kreme? I guess if you don't care about people and you just care about numbers
and marketing
and marketing, yeah, it's brilliant. Except they have to, in the back of their mind, know that they're going to contribute to thousands of deaths. Because here's the thing. When you go get a donut, are you getting one?
No.
You're not getting one.
I might get my free one, but then I might get one or two more. I might be on my way to work and be like, you know what? I'm here getting my free one because I got my vaccine, I got my card and everything, but let me go ahead and get a dozen and I'm going to take it to the guys at work.
Yep.
It's smart marketing, but it doesn't help the problem at all.
No. So now you're taking these donuts to work, you're taking them to wherever, or they're going to go sit at your house. So at night when you get home, we all know our ability to make good decisions with food diminishes the longer we're awake.
Yeah.
The closer we get to bedtime, we've already had so many decisions. We've got that decision fatigue. And now, instead of having your one or two that you had in the morning that you got for free and you bought one, now you're going to have a half of one at 6 p.m. The other half is just staring at you at 6:30.
Yep.
And then you're like, man, I'm really hungry at 7:30, 8 o'clock. I can have one more. Well, now you've had 4 donuts in a day.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. newsflash, what is the most addictive drug on the planet? Sugar.
Yeah.
So now your body is getting this influx of sugar day 1, day 2, day 3. Now you're craving it way worse than you were before day 1.
Yeah.
So now you can't wait to get to the Krispy Kreme before.
A lot of people don't realize that sugar, it's not like it's crazy people. You might be like, oh, it's the number one addictive drug. It's kind of like heroin or crack or cocaine, whatever. But you don't look at it like that because it's a slow death. It's a slow,
and it's so readily available.
Yeah, and it's easy to get. But over time, you're like, oh man, what's wrong with me? I've gained weight. I got high blood pressure. I got all this stuff. And little by little, that drug did that to you.
Yeah. And, you know, when I think about this whole pandemic, and here's the other interesting thing. I was Googling some things this morning, and the first video that came up, I was just looking for something that had someone saying, hey, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? We know that obesity is linked to increased severity of this illness. Why are we pushing this? And what do I get? I don't even know if it was CBS or NBC, whatever. It was a prominent news. We'll play the video. We'll cut it in here in a second. But it's this morning news network talking about how incredible Krispy Kreme is because they're doing this for people, and they're doing it to help push the vaccination, and they're having this great time about it and joking around about it's the greatest day of the year. We get free Krispy Kreme. And I'm sitting to myself thinking, do these people have no concept of what they're doing and what they're talking about?
I don't think I can overstate how excited we are right now.
We
just
finally have food.
A modicum of normalcy. Here's the deal.
You keep talking. You keep talking.
Thank you, Krispy. No, whoa. Sit back down. Hold on a second.
Greg.
No, put that down. Okay, only if you have a COVID card, you get a vaccination. Krispy Kreme is giving a free donut to anybody who shows their COVID
So that's
card.
illegal.
Well, I mean, I think I can still eat a donut.
Okay. Dylan?
I know, we have to get up
That's right.
individually one at a time.
Okay. You can get one a day.
Which one do I
if
want?
you show, they're all the same.
No, they're not.
They're glazed.
Different shapes.
No, they're all pretty much circular.
We've only got 3 minutes for this whole
Sorry.
segment. Okay. It is really fantastic. Okay.
You should have two since you got your COVID card.
Let's here we
So
go.
what's Krispy Kreme doing now?
They're doing one a day. You get a free donut. You show your.
Do you carry that around with you everywhere?
No, I just knew we were getting Krispy Kremes today. Hold on a second. We can't. Now, I'm not allowed to hand these out. So, guys, just one at a time.
I don't think
each one of you can grab a
You don't
Krispy
have
Kreme.
your vaccine card yet.
Neither do you, but you got one.
go.
Joseph, go ahead.
First
Go
one.
for it, Joseph.
I don't think Yosef even eats donuts.
I think he does.
Way too healthy for a donut.
Something seems more unsanitary about this than actually just handing someone a donut.
Wow.
It's a great way to incentivize.
I'll never look at a Krispy Kreme the same again.
It's a great way to incentivize vaccines.
That's right. And for employees, they're opening up for 4 hours of paid time off.
Oh, my God, that's so good.
Isn't that good?
I haven't sat in this
Oh,
chair
my
and
God,
eaten
that's so
food.
good.
And by the way, let me tell you about a new study from the New York Times, the Journal of the
Don't
American Medical Association, found on average,
Don't do that.
adult participants gained about 1.5 pounds every month during the
I just gained
pandemic.
1.5 pounds this segment.
It literally is the COVID-19.
I've read some more of the article, and they said, I don't know if they just started this or if it's been going on. I might go there, like you said, like once a year. So I hardly ever go there. Even if you don't get the vaccine, I think it's on Mondays for the next whatever.
Till May 22nd.
They're giving out a free donut and coffee just because.
Now, look, if that's what you want to do, and it's a 2-month kind of thing, okay, you know what?
But don't do it with the
I get
pandemic.
it. But don't link it to, hey, bring me your vaccination card, and then let me give you a free donut for the next 9 months.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you wonder, because here's the thing, maybe you do it for a few days, and you're like, okay, you know what? I need to stop. Cool. Guess what's going to happen?
Oh, you're going back.
You stop, and I'm bringing them now to work, and you didn't bring them.
Yeah.
So you made the first choice to say, I'm not doing it. But guess what? There's going to be 3 other decisions that you're going to make that day, and they're going to be sitting right in front of you.
Other people brought them, yeah.
Yeah. And,
people can argue it all day long if they want. I know there's anomalies and there's random stuff. But the healthier the host, the better off you are with any sickness.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that something can't happen, but the better off you are, the healthier the host. So if they continue to bring the host down, it's counterproductive.
Yeah, and I'm not going to get into big pharma. We're going to have Jess on the show next week, I think. I'm going to get her on, and we're going to talk about how all this is linked together and why it's so obvious why the government doesn't want healthy people. But I'll let her talk about that. I don't have the education she does, nor the intelligence. But at some point, we got to sit back and look and see how stupid we must be to allow these things to happen. I mean, you got to be another country looking at the United States just saying, what in the world?
I found a girl, I'll show it to you. Maybe I can put it on here. There's a younger lady I found on TikTok, and she's in the UK, I believe, and she compares American foods to stuff they have in the UK. And it's crazy. People from the United States will send her packages and stuff so she can compare, because a lot of the stuff they don't have in the UK, and it's not because they can't get it.
They just choose
They don't
not
allow
to.
it.
Yeah.
So they might have, say, American Pop-Tart, a UK Pop-Tart, and she'll taste test them. She's like, man, the American one is like really overly sweet, and when she looks at the ingredients, it's huge on the American one, and like less than half the ingredients on theirs because they don't allow that stuff.
Well, think about it. The whole goal is to get the youngest generation addicted to sugar, so that they grow up and they depend on sugar as their fuel. They depend on all the sweets. They have limited discipline when it comes to nutrition and exercise, because and again, I'm not going to get into it, but who's benefiting the least from a healthy population? It's Big Pharma. They don't want us healthy.
No.
They don't want us healthy. And it's people like Krispy Kreme. You want to start comparing? I guarantee you, they're not giving this away because they've got a bunch of that someone's paying them. Someone's taken over this amount of money it's going to cost them to give out a massive amount of food.
Yeah.
Because they'll, as much as we say that they'll make money on this, across their stores, they're probably going to lose money.
Yeah.
So someone's subsidizing it.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting that people will go out there and do that when, here's the thing. It's triple the risk. If you're obese, it's triple the risk of severity in your hospitalization, of your illness, whatever. So look at the analogy. It's not a perfect analogy, but this would be similar to me saying to Philip, as if he's my kid, he's 13, 14 years old. He takes his vitamins for the day. I say, hey, good work, man. You can have 1 cigarette today. And he smokes 1 cigarette. And I give him a cigarette
to reward him for taking
his vitamins. What are you talking about? But it's not that far-fetched. You can sit there and be like, oh, it's totally different. No, it's not. Yes, smoking is 15 times the increased risk of cancer. I get it, and lung disease. I get it. But 1 cigarette a day, I bet you, is close to 3 to 5 times your increased risk.
Yeah.
And that would be like insane if you saw a young kid smoking a cigarette and we were giving it out and I was rationing Philip. Here's your 1 cigarette for the day. Here's Bobby. Here's your 1 cigarette for the day. Oh, here's your 1 cigarette for the day. I'd be in jail.
Just think what people would do if Krispy Kreme come out with a commercial or it was on the news that they put a disclaimer in there. They made it known, hey, if you get your vaccination, you bring us your proof, your card, you get a free donut a day for the next year, but this may increase your chances of, if you do get COVID, that it's worse. Or if they just don't put that in there, we don't look at it that way.
And if you're sitting at home saying, "Oh man, this guy's an idiot," why are they talking about this? They're doing a great thing. Krispy Kreme's doing a great thing. Here's the thing. I'll come to you wherever you're at, and we'll do a study. You eat one Krispy Kreme donut from now until the end of the year. I'll pay for your lab work. I'll do your check-ins with all of your weight, your fat mass, your muscle mass. We'll do all the metrics, and you show me that it doesn't massively impact your overall health. And I'll retract this whole thing, and I'll go into Krispy Kreme myself and tell them how sorry I am that the 17 people that listen to my show, got some bad info from me. But let me tell you something. I'm not wrong. If you eat Krispy Kreme every day for a year, even if it's a few days a week for a year, your health is going to decline in ways you can't imagine. And it's just, no one's making this push. No one's saying, hey, you know what? You know who are having the lowest amount of symptoms with this? It's the fittest people. It's the ones that have the healthiest lifestyle. It's the ones that use moderation in their nutrition and their diet. No one's talking about that. No one's running stories. We're all laughing and giggling like schoolgirls on national news talking about how great Krispy Kreme is. But has there been one mention? I haven't seen it. One mention that, hey, you know what? If you would just go for a walk after every meal, if you would just follow these basic guidelines when it comes to your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Hey, if you replaced your soda with water, if you maybe gave up the alcohol a little bit and replaced it with this, maybe your chances would decrease. If you started talking about those things, maybe we could get some momentum in the right direction and actually have one thing positive come out of this pandemic, because there's not been one. Not one positive has come out of this pandemic. All right? It is irresponsible businesses looking to monetize our stupidity as a society. And let me tell you something, there's plenty of stupidity to go around, because there are a lot of people making a ton of money off of this pandemic, and we don't even bat an eye at it. We just allow it to happen.
Yeah.
And
just think, if you have trouble, say you have trouble breathing due to your diet, exercise, whatever. Just say you're overweight, and now that you're overweight, you have sleep apnea cause of the weight issues, and you use a CPAP. You just have trouble breathing in general. You get COVID. Yes, it's going to be harder on you. It's just common sense. Like, it's going to be more difficult to fight that off. If you already have trouble breathing, what do you think's going to happen at night when you put on your CPAP machine? You got a big gut and stuff, and you're having trouble, lungs pushing up and down, and then you're sick inside of you. Like, it's just common sense. A donut doesn't help that.
But no one's talking. The donut is that's one example
of tip.
That's the tip of the spear. That's just one example of what's happening. I mean, we're in this free fall, and it's like every week it's something that's even more ridiculous that comes up, and it's like we're in this bad dream that we're being tested at how far we can get pushed, and how much are we willing to take before someone raises their hand, is like, hey boss, I don't know if this makes sense.
Yeah.
But in the Marine Corps, if a senior officer is talking and there's like 30 junior officers in the room, no one wants to be the first guy to raise their hand and be like, sir, it was actually, we had the wrong information. No one wants to be that guy. That's where we're at right now.
They're all thinking it, but
we're all thinking it, but no one's like, this is ridiculous. And then when that happens, everyone else will be like, oh, yeah. Oh, you're so right.
I was about to say that.
I was just about to. No, you're not. We just allow this, and we're allowing it to happen. And it's just, it's so frustrating to me, because I've seen for 11 years, I've watched people, how hard it is for people to break out of these really dangerous habits.
I've just
whether
seen it in a little over a year, some of the members at the gym.
Yes.
Like if you've seen them a year ago, they look completely different now.
Yep.
They come off all of their meds. They just did a complete life change.
And it takes
it's
so
crazy.
long.
Yeah.
It takes so much work. That's why we are the most obese country out there, because it's hard. We are an immediate gratification society, and if we want to make these changes, it's hard work, and no one wants to work hard anymore. And I've seen it to where people figure it out. They see the light. They're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe how amazing I feel. And now we're setting them up for failure. We're setting them up to relapse back into these bad habits, because you've got irresponsible people that were closing gyms without the data that was correct, saying it's dangerous. And now these guys don't have any place to work out. They don't have anything to do. They're stuck in their home. They're not moving. They're eating Krispy Kremes. And once you fall off that wagon, you get back to the old ways. Trust me, I don't care how disciplined you are. It is very hard to reverse that. Yeah. And this is just one way that they're trying to get us back in this sedentary lifestyle that leads to disease and sickness and all these medications that we're going to have to take, and the doctor's visits. It's all going to that. And look, I get it. I wish I could take a deep breath. I'm sure my wife and my mom are like, "Hey, Steve, breathe. It's okay." I get it, but
it's not okay.
I'm not passionate about much in this world outside of like my family and my friends and my business. And my business is built on showing people how they can get healthy and giving them the tools to make these changes, so they don't have to depend on medications and doctors and all these people that are just out there to suck all the life out of them and all their money, because they're going to become dependent on healthcare.
Yeah, and we make it so hard. Like you said, other countries are probably like, what are they doing over there? Like, what's going on? When I went to Amsterdam, I was with people that were French. There were some from Hungary and all these different places in a big group. And they had all have been over to America, but this is my first time being over there. And they were all talking about it. We were driving around, and I was getting kind of hungry. And I was like, man, is there not anywhere to stop? They're like, Mom, man, you're from America. You're used to, like, if you're hungry, you want something, you just pull over and grab it.
Yep.
So we had to drive for miles, and finally we found a gas station that had a Subway in it over there. Even when you go to the Subway did not have cookies at the end of their line. They didn't offer all the sandwiches because a lot of that stuff isn't allowed there. And the chips and stuff that they had were only the healthiest ones that were baked and stuff.
Yeah.
You didn't have the option. They don't allow it.
And I'm not saying, we're not saying, Philip and I are out here saying, oh, we can't have any sweets. No, we're just saying, let's make it so there's some moderation and you give people a chance. I mean, we're going to talk about, we touched on about a month ago. I changed up from this keto diet to a more balanced diet, and Jess gets mad when I call it a diet. It's not a diet. It's just the way my nutrition is set up, And it's hard. I'm having a tough time because I'm used to eating what I wanted, when I wanted, the quantities that I wanted. Yeah. And now I'm eating what a normal human my size should be eating. Yeah. And it's tough. I'm like, my body is telling my brain, hey, keep eating. I'm not full yet, because I was stuffing myself before. Yeah. So, if it's hard for me, and I'm the most obsessive compulsive maniac you're going to meet, it's going to be hard for everybody. You look at the lifestyle right now. I'm in deep in middle school sports, like volleyball tournaments every weekend. We've got like a back-to-back-to-back where we're gone. And it's funny because you'll talk to people on the road or when you're at these events, and everybody, I don't bring anything up. I just kind of have my own stuff, and people will say, oh yeah, man, once I get back from this, I'm going to get back on it. And I'm like, hey, cool. That's a good idea. But you're living from and then Monday comes and you're like, I was gone all weekend. I need one day to get back into it. So they end up, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, their lifestyle kind of lets them eat healthy. But then guess what happens? Even those 3 days, idiots like Krispy Kreme come along, and then they take
Don't forget your donut,
and they massacre those 3 days as well. So it's just I know how hard it is to go down that road that very few people go down, which is being healthy and focusing on your overall wellness. And it's so frustrating that these companies are taking advantage of that and just letting it happen. So
this is probably the first time ever I've been this close to Krispy Kreme without my intentions was to go in there. I didn't even bring my wallet for that simple fact. It's hard. It's a bunch of sugar in there. Like that's what they do.
I hope that people recognize the lunacy for what it is, and I hope that Krispy Kreme doesn't profit off of this. And I wish that we were bigger. I wish that we were the Joe Rogan podcast. I wish that we were the Tim Ferriss podcast, because if guys that have the type of influence and reach like them, if they can get on this wagon and start calling people for what it is and the manipulation that's happening, maybe people open their eyes up. But it starts with your voice. I mean, it's your voice. It's who you can affect. And your group is bigger than you think. Your reach is bigger than you think. Let people know what's going on. Let people know what they can do to beat this thing, and help as many people as you can. And if we keep doing that, then maybe, just maybe, we'll get enough momentum out there to shift the needle away from this type of stuff, and push people in a way, and motivate people in a way that they can focus on their own health and their own wellness and taking their situation in their own hands. So I think, did I do a good job controlling my emotions for the most part?
Yeah, you're good.
This was, man, it just makes me so mad. It's frustrating. But anyway, this is a little bit different podcast. We might have to do this more often. Philip. I actually saw Philip chattering. His teeth were chattering before he was behind the camera. He didn't think I saw it, but I saw it. So we're at a balmy 55 right now. And,
I'm good.
So all right, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll have a follow-up podcast to this. We'll get Jess back on here. We'll talk about Big Pharma, maybe some other topics. We'll talk a little bit about some of the challenges the big guy's having with this new nutrition plan.
Okay.
And until next time, hope you enjoyed it.
See you.